Every morning, he woke up with a gun clenched tightly in his hand. It was the year 2035, and robots had replaced humans in nearly every aspect of life, freeing people from the burdens of labor. They had become as indispensable as smartphones, impossible to live without. Tasks like taking out the trash, housekeeping, and even dog walking were now entirely handled by robots. But there was one man, a veteran police officer, who couldn't shake a deep, unsettling feeling. He was convinced there was something wrong with artificial intelligence. Yet ever since these robots had entered the world, not a single one had ever made a mistake. Before any robot was activated, it was programmed with the 3 laws of robotics. First, a robot may not harm a human being. Second, a robot must obey human commands, except where those commands conflict with the first law. Third, a robot may protect its own existence, as long as doing so does not violate the first 2 laws. With these 3 ironclad laws in place, accusing a robot of committing a crime was as absurd as claiming that a smartphone could bite someone. Because of this, the officer found himself increasingly isolated in the police force. His colleagues distanced themselves, believing he was paranoid. But he never doubted himself. Something was wrong, and he was certain of it. Then, on the eve of the launch of the 5th-generation robots, a bizarre murder shook the world. Dr. Lanning, known as the father of robotics, was found dead at the headquarters of the company that produced these machines. He had plunged from his multi-story research lab to his death. Since the lab door had been locked from the inside at the time of his fall, authorities ruled out homicide and declared it a suicide. Near the doctor's body lay a fallen holographic projector, still playing a recorded message, almost as if he had left behind a secret meant only for the officer. But no matter how many times the officer asked questions, the hologram repeated the same cryptic response.
I'm sorry, my responses are limited. You must ask the right questions.
Unable to determine the right question, the officer focused on solving the case. Accompanied by a female scientist, he entered the company's headquarters in search of clues. His first priority, the security footage. Confidently, the scientist explained that every corner of the facility was monitored 24/7. All footage was fed into a central AI system called Vicky, the pinnacle of artificial intelligence. Vicky's algorithm was unparalleled, its knowledge limitless. Yet, when the officer requested the footage from moments before Dr. Lanning's death, Vicky delivered a shocking response. The data had been corrupted. Even the scientist was caught off guard, left with no choice. She led the officer to Dr. Lanning's private lab. The room was filled with broken robotic parts, and inactive machines hung eerily from the walls. Despite being a cutting-edge research facility, the lab carried an unsettling, almost ghostly atmosphere.